Hi, I'm Madison. Welcome to the Whole Teen Talk Media Podcast, powered by Excite All Stars. And today I'm here with a very exciting guest, Mr. Chris Douglas.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me, Maddie. Appreciate it.
So you've had an amazing journey in the gaming industry, from pro gamer to leading at Xbox Game Camp. How has your journey shaped your views on youth mental health, specifically in gaming communities?
So yeah, I've been in the game industry for 20 years. I used to play games professionally. So from 1999 until 2005, I played Halo 2, Halo 1, Call of Duty 2, Street Fighter 3, Third Strike, Marvel's Capcom 2 professionally. And there's a lot of similarities of like what the industry holds as a player to now me being a program manager for Xbox Game Camp. And it's the same thing that you look at across any other sport. So whether I also play basketball, so it's the same thing, like the amount of pressure sometimes that people put on you as a player, or you put on yourself as a player to perform, especially when like every instance of a tournament is for either placement to get to prize pool or to win prize money. So then it starts to become, it can be a volatile situation if you don't have the right support system, or if you're not like internally figuring out, finding ways that you can decompress after a match, or just deal with the focus of what's happening on that level. So that's really a big part of it. Is just like every other like athlete, even people who like do speech and debate, you come up with ways that you can cope with dealing with the pressure and anxiety and the butterflies before you go to do it, and then doing it, and then how do you decompress after. So that journey can be different from every person. So sometimes it can be music, sometimes it could be silence, sometimes it could be a different game, it could be a movie, it could just be hanging and chilling with like family or friends, getting your favorite meal. So those are ways that I think that you can like look at coping with that, and that's the things that I've seen like isn't really not any different, with how I did it then compared to how it happens now.
So gaming could be a big part of a teen's life. What are some mental health benefits that gaming can provide when done in a healthy way?
So gaming is definitely probably the best form of community that you can have. Everybody, I think, has the awesome ability to connect to a game in some form or fashion. So some people have found like their favorite game, or the thing that the game that they care about the most, because they might have been having, dealing with loss, so there's grief that that might have brought them to that. It could be harder times that they're going in life, or it could just be, like I said, the way that they like to decompress. Right. And then you find other like-minded people who like the same things that you like. So then it builds a sense of community. You can find like friendship and kinship with different people based on what's happening in the game. And the most important part of that is like in a healthy way. So at the end of the day, like games are still, even if you play competitively, like, yeah, there are things that are online, but it's still a game. Like, it's still supposed to just be fun. It's not supposed to be something that, you see people like raging out, throwing controllers, doing all that. It's probably not the best medium for you to be in if it's going to bring you to that level of emotion. But games can be incredibly important, like I said, to just building a sense of community and camaraderie for a person, especially people who have trouble with like bigger social settings, or who are very introverted. So I think it can be incredibly valuable to a lot of folks that way.
And on the flip side, what are some risks and challenges that young gamers can face, and how can these be addressed?
Yeah, so the biggest thing first is security. As time is going on, everybody's online, and there's like bad actors in anything. So at any particular point in time nowadays, you have to really understand, like, is the person that's on the other end of this microphone or controller, is that really who they say they are? So being careful, and setting up proper, like, if you're a parent, setting up parental controls. If you're a teenager, just being mindful of the information that you share with people when you're gaming with them online, if you meet them for the first time, or even how you share like your voice activity. Like, there are settings and parameters that you can build for yourself, to where you are still the owner of your experience in that environment. So safety and security is always going to be number one. Number two, like I said, is just ensuring that you don't believe everybody, for what they say that they are, what it is. Like, trust is earned, not given. So just always being in a point where you can be friendly to people, but you don't have to be trusting to them until you know that they've been in a position where they've earned that trust.
So you mentioned access and networks to thrive in as part of the Xbox Game Camp. Why do you believe access to creative outlets like game development is beneficial for your mental well-being?
One, like prime example. So like right now, Sinners is out in theaters. South to Midnight is out on on Xbox and games. And those two are the reason why I call to them is that though personally, that's two experiences that I've seen and had in two different mediums. And one is theatrical and one is experiential in games. And both of them are like so critical to like my experience as like a Southern black man and what I get to see inside of it. So without people having access and people being able to have the ability to tell those diverse stories, and diverse is everything. Like whether it's somebody's like a young white kid that live in like a rural area, or it's like somebody that lives in the inner city. Like there are so many different people that come from so many different walks of life that has an ability to go out and tell their story, like whatever it is. So when you provide access to people and you're giving them the ability to go and authentically and genuinely tell that story, more people can connect with the medium. Like the medium just grows, and the same way that we have like the things that we pack in and we talk about anime stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like we really like Demon Slayer, everybody connect with it. That just gives you another thing that can make people feel good, and that could be great for your mental health. So that's something that that when times are rough, it's something that you can kind of go back to and experience again, and it makes you feel good, and it takes you kind of out of the moment, or it kind of like centers you, in where you need to be mentally for like the next steps to be successful or be efficient or be focused.
So within your 20 plus years of experience, how have you seen the gaming industry evolve in creating more safe and supportive environments for young people?
Well, so it's evolved a lot, over the course of that time. Even from like consoles, have gone from like generation 5 to where we are, it's generation 9 right now. So you've had 4 evolutions of consoles since then. Arcades used to be a big thing, and that was a big social hub, and that's not necessarily a thing anymore. People are more engaging and interacting virtually, via like lobbies and Discord and stuff like that. So I think the social aspect of it has changed, but it's only like shifted from one area to another. So like instead of it being physical, in-person social hubs like the mall or the arcade, it's changed into like the virtual hub that you have, whether it be people on IG Live, Discord, or whatever social platform they're gonna get into. So and the things that are happen with that is like I said, once again, it's the security level. Like you can kind of really own your own experience in any of those places. So you can change and tune your settings to be in a good place where you see the things that you want, you don't see the things that you don't want. That's always good for your mental health. Another thing is, at that point, like if you were in a social setting and it may have been something that was like, I'm not comfortable here, it's a lot harder for you to like pick up and leave sometimes when you're with a group of people, instead of just like, I'm gonna disconnect from social media for a week or two. That's also another thing that people can do. You have the ability to do to disconnect faster, and you choose how much time you want to disconnect from. So just the access has changed dramatically, and has changed for the better. But it also has opened up like new challenges for you to just be mindful of when you're going through those experiences.
So gaming often can be misunderstood by parents. What would you say to adults as a way of informing them of how gaming can be an empowering and constructive activity? For sure. So I use this stat in my personal journey. So I wanted to 3 things I wanted to do when I was growing up. I wanted to be a basketball player, I wanted to be a chef, or I wanted to make video games. And I am doing one of those 3. Right? I'm 5'11". I was never gonna get any taller. As good as I thought I wasn't ever gonna probably be in the league. I'm too much of a perfectionist to be a chef. Like I can still cook at home and stuff, but I don't cook as fast as probably I would need to do on that, and I like doing things slower in that space. For video games, it was the thing that I kind of put my eggs in that basket. There are 15,000 men's NCAA collegiate basketball players, and the NBA drafts 60 people.
So that's 0.04% chance that I was gonna make it to the NBA. And my parents still believed that I could probably make it to the league before I could make games. Because at that time, they didn't see any black people making video games or in tech. So my parents were just trying to protect me, and most parents are gonna do that. You wanna try and shield your children from negative experiences that can impact them in a negative way. But the video game industry is a $200 billion plus industry now. And there's far too much access and ability for you as like a student to be able to like make your own game. So there are platforms like Minecraft where you can go into it, it's user generated content, you can go make your own stuff, make a server, you know, and then you can like have a paid hosted server. So now you're making money just hosting a Minecraft server at your house as a teenager. That ability can kind of like, you can start understanding like network or design, and then from there you can kind of get into like video game design and go get make that out of a career. People who are good enough to play games, like that's like the 1% of 1%ers, they have the ability to go and generate revenue for themselves just by being very good at playing games. Casanet is a huge, you know, Twitch streamer. He's millions of dollars that he makes just by like streaming and being entertaining behind the camera and playing games and interacting with people. So the industry has changed so much, and there's so much more access to it that I think the same way, like if you think about like the .com boom, when everybody was trying to like get a .com and people were running to that, and some people were scared of it, and other people who invested in it and learned about it and educated themselves in it really benefited from it. It's gonna be the same thing now. Like as a parent, whatever your child is excited about, be excited with them. Like get into it and then educate yourself so you can know, you know, what to do or what it is. Even if it's like, I don't know if this is something that I can do, but Excite All Stars can probably help my child do that. So let me get